Hey guys, welcome to YouTube with Beads to Live By for a tutorial on this little fun and unique Ndebele cuff that we used some of our curated collection size 11 seed beads in, as well as our new 3-cut size 6 seed beads, which that black is not showing up as well as like this vibrant yellow. But we're so excited to be here. Thanks so much for joining us. And I'm gonna let everybody get settled in a little bit before I start, but I will get started fairly quickly because I definitely want to get everybody through as much as possible. And we like to try to keep these to about an hour. So once you get going, this is a great tutorial. It's really rather repetitive, but there is, learning curve, and it's not what I would consider the most easy beginner level stitch. So although this is like a pretty basic version of the stitch, I think it does help to have some seed bead weaving experience before you tackle this one. So if that is not you, you can always table this video and head over to check out some of our easier tutorials first. The ladder stitch wrap bracelet with the tile beads would definitely be higher on my recommendation list for beginner level projects. I don't ever want to discourage anyone from trying to be a little bit more adventurous with the start of their bead weaving, but I do like to give people reasonable expectations of what would be feasible for them to accomplish. So, hi Rosalinda, how are you tonight? I feel like I just didn't breathe for a minute. Get all those words out all at once. So, yes, this is the example that we have that I have only done a little start of. My hubby and I took a little trip, just 2 days off to go to Cleveland, which is within driving distance of us, for just a short weekend trip. But I worked on this in the afternoon one day when we needed a little rest, and he was watching some sports ball. So just was inspired by some of our new beads as well as our curated collections, and making sure you guys have lots of ways to use those beautiful colors together. So you can do Ndebele in any width as long as it's an even number of beads to start. And we happen to be working with an 8 wide band here. Aw, Rosalinda, that sounds kind of nice. I would like to hide in the house without, well, I guess if you get to like snuggle up with an animal and sip on coffee or tea, a rainy day sounds nice. Otherwise, it's kind of a pain. So the stripes of color come from just like where you place your seed beads at, and we'll go over all of that, but just trying to decide how I want to do my colors. So I think we'll do those. And while using the same brand of beads can be advantageous in some ways, this type of stitch is not one that you have to do that with. So even better for the curated collections, since they are not always all the same brand of beads. But to get the coloring of the sample, we've got 2 colors, 2 of color A. This is my where my thumb and fingernail are here are the tail end of my thread. And I've got about 5 feet. You'll have to add thread anyways, so it's better not to work with a crazy long piece of thread. And this is, oh, I forgot I didn't put the banner up with the supply list. There you go. So we've got 2 color A of the size 11s, 4 color B, and then 2 color A again. And My trick for ladder stitch is what you need to start your, you have to do ladder stitch before you can start Ndebele or herringbone. Rosalinda, you have an animal on your face right now. So this is my needle end of my thread over here that I'm pulling around on right now. So that last bead that I would have added most recently, I'm going to skip that one and I'm going to go this direction through the second to last one. And then, oop, I've got so many things that are potentially in my way that I also kind of need near me, like my water and my lights. So when you pull your beads around, this is how they'll sit. And then from here, you skip the bead you're coming out of each time and then go through the loose one that's next down in the line. And the beads can sit a little wonky if you pull too hard or not enough. So you just want to keep letting them kind of rest into place here. So we're going to go through that guy. And if you have watched our tile bracelet wrap video, you'll recognize this a little bit from the stitching you do in that project. Just realizing the way I want to get my tray all situated here. And then we're going to go through that one. And I hope this video, you know, I threw out all the caution of like, be careful if you've not done a lot of seed bead weaving before at the beginning, but I hope this video encourages people who have not tried the stitch to tackle it and not throw their beads everywhere like I am. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're getting there as far as the organizational situation goes. Oh, thank you, Rosalinda. Have you gotten your October colors yet? It's just 3 of them paired together with this, I think the lemon is in the description of this 3-cut size 6. So we've got all 8 of our beads laddered and the colors are 2 color A, 4 color B, and 2 color A again. And so when you're picking up beads, you're gonna mimic the ones you're coming out of and going into. So we're working with them in pairs. So your 2 that are closest to your working thread are gonna be your indicator, like we want 2 color A. And again, this is the needle end up on this side. So we're gonna work through the second bead in towards the tail or the bottom of the bracelet, we'll call it. Rosalinda. Yes, I feel that way lately. I've been throwing a lot of beads around in my office these days. So before you add any more beads, you've got to come back up through. So if we went out through 1 and down through 2, we're going back up through number 3 in our ladder row. And then you add 2 color B this time and go down through number 4. And then back up through number 5. And we're only using those numbers to indicate from the end we started at where we're headed in that. So 2 more of color B and then down through 6. Trying to make sure and give you guys as much camera time with these postures as possible. And I'm really loving, like, you could use different colors of thread, but I like the way I feel like I can kind of see a bit of contrast from my black fire line. So the last 2 I add, I'm coming up through number 7 in that row of ladder stitch. So I add 2 of my color A and then I go back down through the 8th bead and we're on to the next row, but we've got to turn around first because our beads have nowhere to go. Our needle has nowhere to go. So I'm going to add, this is where my 3rd color comes into play for me, and I might play around with the middle because there's an accent color in the middle as well. But I really like the idea of this teal being against that more neutral exterior. So I added one of the 3rd color, and then I'm going up through. So your thread skips from, you're coming out of the base of the bracelet right now, and we're going to go up through the topmost bead, and top just being the working end of. So you'll get like a little frilly sort of edge on it. And I also, like, if you noticed I was over there, I'm flipping this because I really, with this particular stitch and the angle of the way I have to hold my work, like to work from left to right. It helps keep my thread, I think, out of my path of where my hands are moving a little bit more. So this next row is going to be very similar to your 2nd row. If you consider your ladder stitch your 1st row, we just made the 2nd row. But you just have to be careful. Like, I've added 2 of my color A, and you want to go through just the bead in your 2nd row. So you came out of number 1 and you're going through number 2, but just that top layer. Because if you go down through your base, through your ladder stitch, then you're gonna kind of see some problems moving forward. And then from there, you also need to go back up through number 3, but again, you're just, sorry, I was off camera there. You're just coming up through that row. How's everybody doing tonight? I know I didn't give you guys much notice. So now we're on to color B, and we're gonna go down through number 4 and up through number 5. I don't know if you can, I don't think you can see it on camera right now. I'm so excited about this cute little cat button. This is from the button subscription. You can still buy a bundle of the October buttons on the website. So any of these supplies you can get on the Beads to Live By website. I don't know if I've got the needles and thread listed. If I don't, I am intending to, and that's something that I need to get on top of. But look at that little cat, so cute. Okay, so we are coming out of the 5th bead. So we add 2 more of color B, and we're gonna go down through that 6th bead. And I'm gonna, talk you through these first couple of rows, and then I'll work faster up through number 7, just in the 2nd row. But we've got some middle stuff to add into the mix. So, and then 2 of the color B, or color A, excuse me, and we're going back through that last bead in the 2nd row. So this is where we have to turn around because we're facing the wrong direction to keep adding beads. So I'm going to add just 1 of my color C, and we're going to go back up through the last bead we just added in the 3rd row on the edge there. Really love how these colors are coming together. That yellow is going to add a nice, beautiful punch to the middle. And I think I'll probably flip back to color A for my accent in the middle, but we'll talk about that in a second. You see how I just have to fluff the beads every once in a while to get them to sit correctly? We're doing the same thing we did in the last row as far as the way we add our beads. So I'm showing you, but I'm not going to talk through every single step because nobody wants to hear me talk that much. And we got to get to the good stuff. Yes, Rosalinda, herringbone and Ndebele, as far as I know, are used interchangeably. It's the same stitch. So when you get through the first two sets in your row, when you're at the center of your bracelet, this is where we start adding beads down the middle. So I'm going to pick up the bead that I'm going to add as my accent in the middle, which is my color A for this particular bracelet, but you can use any color for that. And then I'm going to go back up through my number. So I came down through number 4, I added an accent bead, and I'm coming up through number 5. And then everything else is the same for the rest of this row. Nothing crazy. Oh, throwing beads around here. My needle, actually. And your bead height may look a little different as your bracelet grows, depending on what brands of beads you're using through like color A and B. So don't be alarmed by that. You should still be able to work the bracelet pretty normally despite any weirdness in the sizing or differences in the sizing. It shouldn't even be weird, but so I've turned around, I'm working back through, I'm on my 5th row now. Hey, Susie. Good to see you. And some of this is just going to be kind of playing around with like the placement of things. So when you get back to the center, I'm going to share this bead I already added as an accent with this next row because I really want to even out the spacing a bit from the way I did the first sample. So rows 4 and 5 will both be utilizing that singular size 11 accent there. So I know because of my like playing around with the first sample that I did not leave enough space for my size 6s. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy that you guys are in the same area. Beading brings people together. It's wonderful. I don't know if you guys saw my Facebook. Well, I posted on Instagram too within the last couple of days, but the museum that we visited in Cleveland, they have a gorgeous art museum, and I participated in a live like action sort of exhibit or installation they were doing where they have like a little spot where you can hang up little note cards that you fill out, and it says, what do you collect? And of course I wrote beads, so that was fun. I enjoy participating in things like that. I can't believe you guys are in the same area. You're going to have to arrange a beading meetup. That's so cool. Okay, so we're on to the 6th row, I think, if I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. The 6th row of adding beads. Now you'll notice when you're adding the 6th row of beads, you're working in and out of the 5th row of beads that are already there. Just a little Ndebele herringbone bonus tip. I want to know if you guys meet up. I'm taking credit for any ensuing friendship. Okay, so this is where we've got enough space in here that I'm going to add my first size 6 tri-cut in the middle if I don't muck it up with my thread going crazy here. And see what I mean about just like getting some space in there for the beads to properly nestle. We just want our beads to nestle properly. Oh, I'm trying to start a knot or something. Hold on just a second, guys. Gotta pull it closer to my face so I can see what the thread's doing. There we go. Okay, there's that. So fun. I really love the way the colors are coming together. Feels very fall, festive. Got some sweaters and shirts it's gonna go good with. And then we'll make our turnaround. Thanks, Susie. Yeah, it's like a silly little thing. They probably throw those like note cards out after a period of time, but it's just fun to feel like you have somehow been immortalized, especially in such a special place. Like I consider art museums to be like hallowed ground. So anything I get to participate in with regards to them is special to me. And the more time I can spend at them, the better. Soothes my soul. So we are on the 7th, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the addition of the 7th row, which means I am still going to share that size 6 that I added for my, goodness, trying to get through this. I don't think the bead hole is any smaller than the others there. So in the center, I'm still working through that size 6 there. It's funny, in my head, I thought the yellow was going to contrast more, but because I have the orange there, like the lighter colors work towards the center. I mean, it does contrast, especially when the yellow pops. But like when the side shows, it's not as much contrast as I would have not been concerned. That's too strong of a word, but I just had a certain look in mind. So who's going to finish these samples for me, guys? These two are going to take a minute, and I want to finish both of them. I love the colors in both, but my beads will not behave. There we go. So even though I'm doing the stitch exactly right, sometimes you just have to like push those beads around to get them to set up just right. Oop, don't go through the wrong one either. That's no good. So for those of you who are watching currently or watching afterwards, if you are not much of a seed beader, or if you don't have a lot of seed beads to choose from, there's 2 ways you can get these colors of these beads. Well, there's only one way you can get the colors I'm working with right now is by ordering the past subscription if you didn't already receive them. But if you are watching and looking for future subscriptions, you can sign up for those and receive the future subscriptions down the line. But I guess my point was that the sets of beads are available either by subscription or in the sets listed after the subscriptions have been shipped. That was my point. So I think I'm going to add my next size 6, and you do have to start. Oh, I don't know. I'm torn. I don't want to smush these beads together. We're just gonna do it. So I'm adding a size 11 on either side of the 6 that I add in these future rows, because you'll start to like see your bracelet splay out too much to not have that, and like your thread will show if you don't add those 11s. So that's what we're doing there. All right, I gotta catch up now. Join the club, Susie. We all have so many beads. Okay, so Rosalinda, you know, that's a great idea. As long as I get like a good picture of the finished bracelet, I don't need all of the finished samples necessarily. Good thinking. That would be an idea for have a contest so people get to compete to finish the bracelets. But you get to keep the bracelets and the beads. Okay, so we are moving right along. Are you guys kind of catching the hang of it? So Rosalinda, it sounds like you've done herringbone before. Have you done herringbone where there was like beads in between the rows? I'm curious. Ah. Got another cute project in the works with the size 6 cut and wire wrap and the daggers. Oh my gosh, so many cool daggers. Okay, so you see I'm sharing all of the beads, the size 6 and the, oh, that's not right. That's not how I did it. I almost did it wrong, so I was showing you that so that you don't do it wrong. That's, oh, I was just working right along, figured I knew everything that I was doing, and all right. Melinda. Well, this one, yeah, this one is the one that I would probably keep out of the two. I don't know. It probably doesn't go as much as the other colors go with, though. So it's a conundrum. So we are in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so we are adding the 9th row. So in that situation, I am adding, coming into the middle here, one size 11, and then going through my size 6, and then one more size 11. This is like my accent color for the middle, and then going up through my next bead in my herringbone or Ndebele. There. That's what I've been doing. Just got to share a certain amount of rows in the center each time, otherwise you're gonna have issues with your spacing down the line. And I speak from experience. Just learned within the last 2 weeks. Oh, Rosalinda, Danielle is a fantastic instructor. I really enjoy seeing all of her designs and ideas that she comes up with seed beads. It's funny, sometimes she and I are on a very similar wavelength for a bit of time where we are like sharing similar things, and then we're, you know, doing completely different things at other times. So you can tell it's just like totally random when it happens. But she has got a great sense of color too. So we did 2 rows so far using the same size 6 here. And we're going to do one more row where we share that 6, and that row will use the same 11s. We won't add any more 11s. So I think this is number 10 in our Ndebele rows. And that's going to be the third row to use the same size 6. And I will still show you guys. It's what I tried to do in the last row and then realized that that was not what I had been doing. Were you guys watching the Facebook video I was doing earlier? We are getting so many beads this week. And we just got a bunch of beads last week too. Aw, thanks, Rosalinda. That makes me feel awesome. So we're coming out of that row, we're working in the underbelly, and then we're going through all 3 of these beads that are at the top of the work in the center. And it might seem weird to only share one set of 11s from the same row, but I promise you guys, it really does work out quite nicely. Keeps everything even keeled. Ouch. Oh, that was, hate when I stab myself under the nail. Just catch yourself just right. Oof. Hopefully I don't. The worst thing is I don't want to bleed on the video or the project, so keep an eye on that. So Rosalinda, I don't know if you did those beaded beads that I worked on for the silver silk video, but or I don't know if it was with silver. It wasn't with silver silk. It was on our own page, but it was using the pipe chain and little Ndebele tubes that you can make with your size 11 seed beads. That's all it is just the seed beads. So really fun. Oh, I'm okay. I built enough calluses that even when I catch myself in a soft spot, it doesn't hurt for long. I'm convinced I'm gonna have terrible neuropathy in my later years in life, but it's okay. Oh, those colors! I'm so excited. Susie, if I'm making it look easy in the lives, it is pure like I don't know, Hollywood magic or something, because it's usually me fumbling around, I feel like. So in this row, we've shared 3 rows with that previous size 6. So you need to get a new size 6 and you're going to use your 11s on either side of it in the center here. And it'll just kind of float there until you get your next row in, which will also include 11s. Well, that makes sense, Rosalinda. How is your husband doing, by the way? Yes, Susie, I agree with Rosalinda. Rewatching the videos and pausing them over and over again so that you can keep up with the steps is really like my intention. I don't intend for anybody to bead this fast right out the gate. Oh, Rosalinda. Oh, that stubbornness. That's a tough one. People can ignore their health so much with that stubbornness sometimes. It's really sad. As you guys can see, this is the extent of this. You know what? I should show you actually on the, I would show you on the other sample, but I don't have all my beads out for it. Should show you how to narrow down. We'll just do it on this one, and then I'll take a couple rows out. Oh, Rosalinda, I can imagine that that would be very frustrating. I'm sorry that you're in that position. So sizing this bracelet is going to be one of the trickier points if you're using a button. You need to make the bracelet large enough that it will fit around your wrist properly, but not so big that it flops around and the button loop falls apart. So I'm at the point where I'm still sharing rows with this size 6 seed bead, but we're going to pretend like this like half-inch section of bracelet is complete because I'm going to show you how to properly end the Ndebele or herringbone, whatever you like to call it. I think beading is a great form of therapy. Highly recommend it to escape all of life's troubles. Basically, the end of this bracelet is just a reverse of the way that you started, which that to say, or all that is to say that you are going to start to narrow down that center section. So we might have to share one more row with my size 6 just to be consistent. Rosalinda, you don't have to apologize. You're welcome to share as much as you're comfortable with. I purposely don't talk about other people's personal lives. I know you shared on another video not that long ago that he had been sick, but I didn't want to share too much about that just because that's 100% your choice to share, but everyone here is happy to listen, and I think most people can relate to either having a loved one that they've cared for or being frustrated with people who are not caring properly for themselves or all of the above. So it's definitely nothing you have to feel bad about. And if we're just being honest, there has been much more shared with me at the store, in classes, online, all of the places, much more intimate details of people's lives. So, and sometimes by complete strangers. I don't consider you a stranger by any means, and don't think that that was an overshare at all. Hopefully that makes you feel better, because I'm sure you can only imagine the kinds of things. People joke that I'm like a bartender. It's like they come in and just to escape their life's troubles. All right, I think I'm at the point where I can start to narrow this down. I just want to show you guys that process because adding the button and a loop is a pretty easy feat, but when you are at the point where you would add another size 6 and you're ready to narrow the bracelet because you're ready to like finish it off, like it's the right width, or it's the right length, and you have to stop short. So you're going to create probably another ½ inch of your bracelet as you narrow down. So like from this point, you're going to have another like ½ inch as you work your way down. Oh, it's okay, Rosalinda. definitely feel the same way. Okay, so we're at the point we're going to add the size 6, and you might see a little more thread at the beginning than you do after you narrow down more, but we're not adding any 11s because we need to force this puppy to get closer together. So the only thing you're changing as with the beginning is the middle. You're stitching with the rows of herringbone or underbelly is the same, so don't get all crazy with trying to change anything up. No, part of life is having to go through phases where you take better care of yourself than you do during other times. And my husband and I were just talking about this the other day too. It's just part of being an adult is making those decisions to be healthier when you can. And then also, I think it's also being okay when you go through periods of time where you don't make all the right decisions. Like, we're not perfect. Yes, Susie, there is like a whole new vocabulary. And I hope you know when I'm doing videos and you happen to be watching live that if I'm not explaining enough of something or if I'm using an unfamiliar word, I hope you can stop me in my tracks and ask questions. So I am at this size 6 again, and I am totally going through it without any seed beads added, but I am still going through that same one for now. And we'll see if I use it for a third row or if I go back to the 11 in the next row. My words weren't coming to me for a second. As I'm making this tiny little section of underbelly, I also think that it might make a really cute fringy earring. So if you guys see that pop up because I didn't keep my plan to finish off the bracelet, then you'll know what happened. But then I won't get to use this button with it. Oh, so many choices. So many decisions to make. Craziness. Ooh, I think I had tennis elbow or something. My elbow is kind of sore tonight. I don't know, maybe I'm just pushing. I feel like I'm pushing against my desk with it a lot for some reason. Aw, Rosalinda, that's so sweet. Seriously, if you guys get together and bead or hang out, I'm going to think that's just the coolest thing. Yeah, I'm going to use that 6 one more time in this row because I think that's just going to be the best course of action. These are definitely going to be fringy earrings. Spoiler alert. Cannot stop, will not stop. I mean, I'm going to all the trouble of closing off this end of this one. There is just no escaping it. And I think Sheila, my mom, put the idea in my head that it would be really fun to use these size 6 3 cuts as a like on the end of a fringe of an earring. So I'll make sure and post pictures so you guys can emulate any desired fringe earring ideas. that part, like I'm literally gonna just make a center loop at the top to connect my ear wire and then like fringe off the bottom and the rows that are existing already. I mean, that's my plan anyways. I think I'll just keep the stripes of color. I don't foresee myself changing the colors up. We'll see. All right, so now we're to the spot where we're going to add a size 11 seed bead. Herringbone and Ndebele have such a pleasing look to them. I really am fascinated by, or mesmerized by rather, the way that the rows set. Just fun. So the start and finish ends don't have to be identical, but you know, we're kind of working to make them as similar as possible. So looks like I have 2 sets of beads above the 11. I think I can make that work again too. I don't know, I might have to figure out if I can use the cat as a focal point on the earring somehow. Either way, stitching your shank of your button on, you know, I would just, once you've got your bracelet all done, set it in the center towards the end and just like reinforce the heck out of it, because that's going to be one of the most like stressed points of your bracelet. Drops, Rosalinda. I'm trying to picture. Some of the daggers that I just got would look amazing if I've got the right color to go with it. Gosh, you guys, we're going to use all the beads in this new earring we just designed together. Good job, team. Oh, I'm glad, Susie. It's a great little button. I think it's like was one of the most popular ones in the October set. All right, so this last row I'm adding, I'm going to use that 11, I think, unless I can get everything to sit. I'm going to try not using it. Yeah, I think that's good. So we only used the button in the second to last row that we were working in and out of or adding, and then this one I'm just skipping it all together. And you'll see the method behind my madness at the end here. I'm gonna have so many earrings in these October colors because I keep coming up with earring projects for the for this color scheme. So very similar start and finish. It's just the right thing that you want for, and then you're gonna do a more involved ladder stitch at the top, or at the, this is at the finishing end. So without adding any beads, I'm going down through the second bead and back up through the first bead. And again, this is just meant to mimic the way your bracelet started. So then you're going to go back down through that second bead. And then this time we're going to go up through the third bead. But you'll notice every time you go up through a bead, you're going to go like down through the previous bead if you haven't already. So back down through the second and then up through the third again. And down through the fourth, up through the third. I'm not counting that teal accent bead because it's not part of that row technically. Up through the fifth and down through the fourth again. So you just repeat that across the the end, and then that will give you a real similar feel to the way the bracelet started. And while this is like a fussy kind of way to make everything look the same, it does not mean that you have to do this so particularly unless you just want, I want you guys to know how you can make it that way. But hi, Maria. When I saw Susie say hello again, I was like, Susie, you've been hacked. I thought she was just saying hello to Rosalinda again. Hi, Maria. Yay. Sorry, we're just finishing up here. You missed I grabbed kind of a wonky bead at the end of this row. Oh, well. You missed our metamorphosis from a bracelet to, this is going to be a little fringe earring, so I'm pretty excited about it. I love bracelets. I'm like a jewelry person in general, but cannot get enough earrings in my life right now. So if this is like a full-length bracelet, then you can attach your cute little cat button at one end, and it'd be really nice to make a loop out of, like, stitch through the beads and come out of your like center. And this one would be a great choice because you've got lots of extra room in that size 6. So on like the loop end of the bracelet, the loop would come right out of the center and would give you a little extra coverage here that would like pull the bracelet ends together at the cat or the button. Thank you so much, Maria. Yes, the replay will be available momentarily. And I don't know if tonight or tomorrow morning I'll get the earring done so that I can show you guys my nonsense that I've come up with, but I will definitely post pictures of that once it's finished. And in the meantime, you can see a little bit more work in this piece that I've got more done on, and I'll just flash the website one more time for you guys. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. The contact on the website, there's a form, but you can also just use my email address. Yeah, Rosalinda, you could make these individually and link them. You could also narrow your bracelet back down like you did without adding this like ladder stitch section, and then start increasing again in your center, and you would get this like cute little wavy pattern without having to stop your thread, unless you run out, which you'll probably have to add a thread or so in the full-length bracelet version. Susie, spoiler alert, you might see these colors sooner than later if you are a subscriber to the curated collections. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I mean, there's only a few seed beads here, so only a tiny little smidgen hint of what's to come. But where is there we go. My little banners I have to pop off of the comment section to post the banners. Maria, what are you worried about? You're a subscriber, right? You'll see those beads again. Yay! I'm so glad it makes everybody happy. I don't want to spoil the surprise of you getting your bag or box in the mail, but I also want to make sure everybody's thoroughly tempted to subscribe. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're watching this and you're like, what is a curated collection? What's a subscription from Beads to Live By? We have currently 2 options. One is a set of buttons and one is a set of seed beads in a size 11. And you can subscribe to either or both at our website. And there's a banner or there's a tab that says curated collections right at the top of the website, or in the drop down menu, I think, if you're on the mobile version. And you can choose to subscribe monthly. You can prepay for 3 to 6 months and get a discount, and you get a beautiful bead surprise every month. Thank you, Rosalinda. I really appreciate you guys joining me. It's much more fun when I have people to chit chat with. And I am glad you guys enjoyed the project, and I look forward to seeing what you guys do with your beads. If you feel like sharing with us, you can join our Facebook group called Beads in Progress. There is like a spam filtering question at the beginning when you try to join, but I promise to approve your membership right away, and you can share all of your projects with us as you work. Yes, Susie, please save it for future reference, because you need something to use all of your seed beads for, right? If you guys have questions about what colors of the size 6 cuts that I would recommend with the different subscription months of our curated collection, please don't hesitate to ask questions like that too. Oh, Maria, I'm sorry that you weren't here for most of it as well, and I will take full responsibility for not letting people know far enough in advance. I hope to change that someday. So you guys have a great night, and I will see you all soon, I'm sure, again on the interwebs. Bye.